Here in France, the country's highest court is set to rule on the controversial health pass. Digital proof of full vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test is currently required to enter venues with over 50 people present. From Monday, it's set to expand to restaurants and cafes. Despite several weekends of large demonstrations against the health pass, the government says it's confident. For more on the story, we can bring in our international affairs commentator, Douglas Herbert. Doug, France started this whole health pass system. How is it working elsewhere?
Well, first, I'm going to start by correcting you there, Delano, and not because you're wrong. A lot of people think the same thing. France likes to tout itself as the pioneer in this health certificate campaign that is making mandatory proof of vaccinations or negative tests or having recovered from COVID required in order to gain access to bars and restaurants and theaters and other venues and sporting events. In fact, it was beaten to it by a couple of other European countries. One, Denmark. Denmark did it back in May. They have something called the Corona Pass, which is almost on all points exactly identical to what France is doing before France did it. Hungary, I know that's sort of the surprise candidate here. Hungary also imposed its own sort of a health pass, vaccine certificate, if you will, several months back before France. You might argue that France's has been the most comprehensive, the strictest. It's been nationwide. There have been no regions that have been exceptions. And here's the problem with these vaccine passports. Great in theory, the idea behind them, obviously, to spur more people, the skeptical, to get their vaccines, make their life more difficult if they're unvaccinated. Make these health passports sort of the gateway to more freedom. However, a lot of countries aren't going whole hog on it, if you will. Spain, only a few regions really have these types of health passes working. Galicia, the Canary Islands, same with Portugal as well. You have places like Germany, which in some areas you just need to wear a mask. In some regions, they have stricter rules. It's left up to the Länder, the regional districts within Germany. So it's not nationwide policy. It's region by region. We see that in a lot of places. Some places, no health pass or vaccine certificate required at all. We're talking about Belgium, the Netherlands, Sweden. Show up there, roam free, range free. No one's going to ask to see digital proof of anything, vaccinated, tested, or whatever.
Doug, we just have a decision from the country's constitutional court that has come in saying that they do back the health pass measure and that healthcare workers will need to be vaccinated come September. I just want to ask you, so we have this news, big decision coming in, great news for the government, for Emmanuel Macron. I want to ask you if a traveler wants to come into France, because this is something that people are concerned about watching France 24. If they want to visit France or another EU member state, how does it work?
It's difficult. No one has a clear answer, including myself. What I can give you is a slightly muddled answer that gives some information. The rules have not been concretely established. It's on a case-by-case, country-by-country basis right now. For instance, it was just decided that if you are coming from the UK, say you're a French person living in the UK or just a UK national who has been fully vaccinated and wants to come into France, you've been fully vaccinated on the UK system, okay, on the NHS in the UK, but not on the French system. How does it work? Well, they've now decided they will recognize the QR code you're issued to show you've been fully vaccinated in the UK when you come into France. In other words, make the codes compatible, make the software, the applications they use on your smartphones all recognize each other. Same sort of thing is happening with the US. What if I'm coming from New York City, where they have something called the Excelsior Pass, which is vaccination, digital proof or paper proof that you've been vaccinated. How does it work? You come to France, they're hoping that they will get those systems coordinated and compatible. Now remember, all of these things, and the question you're asking me, it sort of supposes that there is going to be rigorous enforcement and rigorous controls and rigorous checking. In some cases, that's exactly the case. You show up at a border checkpoint, an airport, a rail station, they'll ask to see your certificate. Sometimes by dumb luck, or just by indifference or negligence, no one checks. So you could walk right through borders. That happens to a lot of people as well. They're trying right now, as we speak, to sort of coordinate these systems between incompatible testing systems. The main thing, though, that needs to be is that you have to have vaccines that are recognized by both countries, wherever you're coming from to the country you're doing. So Russia, for instance, which has the Sputnik vaccine, not yet recognized by Europe, that's still a problem. Doesn't matter if you're fully vaccinated in Russia. You cannot just walk into a European country. You're going to have to show more proof, and you're going to have some real motive for coming.